Last Monday was a day that we all hope we would never see anywhere, and especially here in Nashville. Uh, we've trained for incidents like this for years with the thoughts that if it ever happened, we would not hesitate. We would go in and we would do whatever was needed for the safety of those involved. The call Monday literally impacted hundreds of members of our police department. You'll hear from just a few today and the commander about their efforts, what they just detail in the day. But you will hear that there was an officer taking gunfire that took cover. You'll hear in the future that this officer also went in and pulled a kid out of this school to safety. We want to make sure that we know that while we're highlighting these officers, there's a lot more that was going on. The first responders that responded, Rex Engelberg, Mike Colazzo, and Sergeant Mathis, did what we were trained to do. They formed together, they got prepared and went right in, knowing that every second, every moment wasted could cost lives. And I'm so incredibly proud of not only them, but other members of our police department as well. I watched video of officers who went into the school, took pulse of the victims, hoping there was life in these people, grabbed these kids and ran out of the school, hoping to save lives. I'm so incredibly grateful for them. We set up a reunification site for kids and for officers to come together to reunite with parents. I had parents at the scene who were telling me things like, hey, I found one of my kids, but I can't find other. And all I could say at that moment was, please go to Woodmont Church, and thank you, Woodmont, for reunification. At the same time, I knew there was 3 victims, and I was just praying and hoping the person I was talking to, it wasn't them, because I could see the pain and the hurt that they were dealing with. Also to our officers and our chaplains and counselors who went to Vanderbilt University Hospital, who spoke with the families, gave counseling to the degree that at the funeral services, the families wanted to have these counselors and chaplains and behavioral health counselors with their families. It's just an incredibly tough day, but I'm really thankful to them. I'm thankful also to Vanderbilt University Medical Center. I listened to an interview of one of the doctors and said he just wanted the opportunity to save lives. He didn't get that opportunity. Neither did our personnel. But they were able to go in and prevent more from being harmed. Also, our investigative team, who had to painstakingly go through everything that went through that school. Every video, every victim, and as I walked through the hallways and seen people in the hallway and all the things that I saw, they had to go through this hour by hour, day after day, painstakingly going through journals, and this investigation is still ongoing. We'll say thanks to our federal partners as well for coming out and just being just totally engaged with what we had going on. To our crime scene experts, the civilians who you never really hear about, but they're a major part of what we do, to reconstruct crime scenes, to go in and to pick up evidence and to gather whatever is needed to put that together for whatever case that we're looking at. They were there hour after hour as well. I want to give a special thanks to our partners at the fire department and paramedics. In our training, when I first trained years and years and years ago, we were trained to go in, continue going towards the threat, stepping over anything, any casualty, whether it's a police officer, victim, until a threat was taken out, and then you go back and extract. But now we have medical personnel that wear ballistic helmets, ballistic vests, that can go in when we go in and extract people, hoping that we can do this in a manner that we can save lives. Also, to our dispatchers, who, if you can imagine, taking call after call, and I hear 25 to 30 calls came in, they were inundated, and they had to listen to people screaming, crying, hearing gunfire, and triaging these calls and dispatching it to officers. I want to say thank you to our entire team. What you don't know with our training is that one officer is from Central Precinct, the other is from Midtown, and just so happened when the call came in, they formed together, and you would have thought that they worked together all the time. But that's not the case. That's just how we train and prepare. I want to give a special thanks, and this is not said often, to the teachers at Covenant School. The teachers had gone through active aggressor, active shooter training recently. Their efforts also saved lives. They knew how to have the kids on the wall, away from the windows, out of the hallways, where we could have had a lot more casualties. They were able to protect these kids as well, and I want to say thank you to the teachers. I want to express my condolences to the 6 families. I've had the opportunity to visit all of the funerals so far, 5. I have one more, which is Ms. Kuntz, which will be tomorrow. I've had the opportunity to talk to parents, and they are incredibly thankful for everything. And what I've learned in this is I've renewed my faith, because as I sat in a church Saturday, and I watched students from Covenant School take flowers down to the altar, and literally I'm in tears, and the other first responders, police officers, firefighters, we're in tears, and I look at these kids, and they look at us, and they say, thank you for your service. And they believe that their classmate is going to heaven, that they're in a better place, and they're not hurting. The ones that was hurting the most was us. And so I want to thank Covenant School for instilling that in them and for teaching them there's maybe something better. They're not hurting anymore. Thank you to all of you all. I know it's been intensive covering all of this. I'm incredibly thankful for you. I'm incredibly thankful for our team. I'm thankful to our mayor. I've not had the opportunity to tell him thank you for leading us through this during this time. To Don Aaron, to Chris Mumford, to others. This has not been an easy time. And I'll have to say this. On the way to work one day, shortly after the shooting, usually I see kids and I smile because I wonder what their future is going to be. And the next day I'm headed in and I see kids and I'm in the car by myself and I'm crying. And instead of being happy about thinking about these kids' future, I'm thinking about these 3 kids and these other adults, well, especially these 3 kids, would never get to experience whatever was in store in life for them. And I always say this to our men and women, no one ever said it would be easy, but they said it would be worth it. I'm totally proud of our men for what they did. So thank you.